Well, here we are again, another little video, and this one's fairly general mat work, so I hope it rings the changes a bit for you, stops you getting bored. Hope everybody's keeping well. We're going to start lying down. Today we're going to be nice and long and just let ourselves relax into the floor. Letting those shoulders open, letting those hips relax. If it's uncomfortable with the legs straight, just bend those knees slightly. Let the arms relax into the floor and begin to think about our breathing. Taking those deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just focusing on our rib cage. Feeling the ribs expand out across the mat and relaxing each breath. Trying to make sure we don't take any tension through our necks or our shoulders. Keeping that breathing nice and even. Wide rib cages. And a connection with the mat at the back of the shoulder blades. Let those waists relax towards the floor. And then we're going to take a float of the arms as far back as feels comfortable and just let them relax. Going to take a stretch with the hands and the toes, as distant as possible, and relax. 2 more, breathing in, keeping long, and then letting everything settle. 1 more, reaching and relaxing. And then slowly we're going to bring those arms back over. Just bring the knees into that bent position. Relax the feet into the floor. Easy through the middles. Check that the waist is held still in the centre. Not pressed too much into the floor. We want to still feel the tailbone connection with the ground. And we're going to take a knee lift. Just checking that nothing moves, hips, ribs, and the centre of the waist. And we're going to make these into circles, so the knee comes up as we breathe in. Breathing out for a big, gentle circle. Breathing in again, and out as we lower it back down. Alternating legs, breathing. As we circle, try to keep those hip bones at the same place. Don't let them rock from side to side. Lifting, circling, and lowering. Pay attention to the knee that is still. Check it doesn't drift out to the side. Hanging on to those abdominals, engaging across that lower abdominal. If we want to make this into a double knee lift and double circle, that is a harder option for the last few. More important to hold on to that waistband so that it doesn't arch away too much from the floor. Keep the breathing going. Just do 1 more of whichever we're doing. And a slow lower down. Breathing out the whole way. We're going to just let those heels come a bit closer. We're going to focus on that pelvis. This time pressing the waist in, lifting those tailbones off and rolling them back down through that lumbar spine and the very end of the spine into the tailbone as well. Keeping those shoulders relaxed and open, just a gentle connection through the arms into the floor. Breathing in, and we're going to make this into a full rolling bridge. So breathing in, pressing through the big toes and the whole of the foot, and then rolling back down. Feel like we're uncurling the spine on the way down. One vertebra at a time peels off, pulls itself off the mat, and then one vertebra at a time rolls itself back down. Watching those knees stay parallel and don't drift apart. Concentrating on the breathing. Remember the shoulders and the shoulder blades stay connected. This is not an arch. We're thinking about the hips and the thighs lifting up. Next time we're up, we're going to stay there. So just check that we've got connection through the feet, through the arms. We're going to float those arms. Breathing and lowering. Keeping that lift through the bottom, squeezing a little, pressing our feet into the floor. And the arms are just going to stay above the shoulders. We might want to turn the palms in. We're going to take one arm back and the opposite heel lifting and press. And the other one. Just a few changes. Trying to keep the center of the body as still as possible. Trying to lift the hips a little higher, squeezing into the glute as we push the heel back into the floor. No dipping through the hips. Let's just do one more with each leg and keep that breathing going. Don't arch those ribs or let them pop out as we go back. We're just going to roll down, take everything on the last out breath. Nice and slowly. Good work. Going to let those legs, the feet move a little bit further away from the tailbone. We want a nice long thigh. We're going to come up into our ab preps. Today we're just going to pop those fingertips behind our thighs as we breathe in to prepare. Relax the shoulders. Tighten across the belly slightly, and then breathing out, letting the head roll. We're just going to slide those fingers up behind the knee and then slide them back down. Good work. Trying to lift as high as we can. That little bit higher with those fingertips pulling us slightly. We're going to take two more. Breathing in and out, flattening into those bellies. Try to keep wide through the front of the shoulders. We're going to hold up here. Let's come up a little bit higher. Pull ourselves a bit higher. If we can, we're going to take those feet off into a float. We can stay here, or we can just take some nice strong arm beats. A little bit of 100, but not a full one. Breathing in and breathing out. Keep as high as we can. Shoulders, maybe shoulder blades off the floor. Let's just take one more breath in and one more out. And bring everything in for a nice curl. So we're in a curl. We're just going to do a little rock today and up to our sitting. We were nearly there before. And bringing it into sitting. So we're going to keep the legs here if you want, or stretch them out to release the backs of those legs a little bit. Arms are floating in front of us. Most important thing today is to be up on those sitting bones, to have that pelvis as upright as possible rather than sinking back. So if that means we need to relax the knees or have them bent, that's a good choice. We're going to drop those shoulders down the sides of the body, shoulder blades open and relaxed. Breathing in, we're going to do bow and arrow. So prepare in, and as we breathe out, we take that elbow behind today, opening out if we want, and back. So this can be just the elbow, or we can open it full. So it might be an elbow, and in, and elbow, and in. Trying to keep the shoulders nice and level, watching that we're not dipping down or lifting up. And remember, if we want to open wide, just pull those fingertips apart. Let's take 2 more each side. Keeping that spine long, feeling the chin is tucked in a little bit. Feeling that the top of our head is reaching for the sky. And we're just going to hold there. Let's just take the arms down and just relax over those knees for a few moments. Trying to feel lengthen towards the toes. Just a few rest breaths there, and then back up to sitting, nice and tall. We're going to come into our roll downs. So first bit that's going to go is rocking that pelvis back towards the floor, keeping the waist pulled in down to the floor, rolling through the vertebra. Arms can go back if we're comfortable, as long as that back doesn't arch. Breathe in to prepare, breathing out to roll. Remember, these can always just be half roll backs. You don't have to go all the way to the floor. Or they can be the full roll-ups. Try to get a feeling of using the breath, a rhythm, breathing in and breathing out. Easy shoulders. Breathing in. We're going to do one more, and we're going to stay halfway down or halfway up, whichever is right for you. So we're trying to keep the back of the pelvis towards the floor, but the shoulders lifted, belly button pulled in. If we can, we're going to take some little knee lifts here. Press them away. In towards us, lifting a little higher. Push. Lift that knee in as much as we can without disturbing the spine, keeping those shoulders soft. In, out, and maybe 2 more. And when we're finished, just release it back down. And we're going to roll over onto our sides to do some side legs. I hope we're managing so far. So long line here, trying not to take too much rest. We're going to lift out of the bottom underneath side of the ribs. So lifting that waist away from the floor. We can have a hand, fingertip hold in front of us if we need it, or we can let that arm release. So we're going to do double leg lifts today. Obviously, single legs are always an option if need be. Just the top leg is possible. So as we lift up, we're lifting long through the legs, pulling them away from us each time. Lifting out of that waist, watching that we've not kinked too much, making sure those legs haven't gone behind us. And we're just going to add a little scissor. So as we come up, we're going to open the legs, bring them back together, keeping them as high as possible. Take them the other way, bring them back and lower. And we're going to do just a few more of those. Lift and scissor. Breathing. Breathing in and lower. Lift and scissor. Control through the centre of the body. Lift them a bit higher when we come into the double leg and down. 2 more. Lift and open. Breathing. Don't forget that underneath of the waist. Watch that we haven't tightened in through the centre of the top half of the waist either. And this is our last one. Now you might want to take a little bit of fingertip because we're going to hold up here for a second. We're going to flex the toes forwards, turn out the feet so the toes point up and down, then point the toes away and then close the legs back. A little circle, flex and open and point away and close. 2 more, flex and circle. Last one. Lift higher if you can through those legs and that waist. Push those toes away. Feel the top of the body as well. And lower. Nice work. So we're going to roll back onto our back and just get a bit of movement going. You've just practiced a little bit of knee lifts and stretching. We're going to do our single leg stretches. So we want, if possible, shoulders off the floor. If it gets too much, drop the shoulders. Reaching to the outside of our foot. We're not pulling the knee, we're just touching. Breathe and breathe. So we're going to do a little pattern, 3 and a hold. 1, 2, 3 and lift the body. 1, 2, reach a bit more. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, reach. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. One more set. 1, 2, 3. And in for a little circle. A little rock. Maybe even a little bit side to side for that spine. Just nice and easy today. And back to the centre. So we're going to come round and do our other leg lifts. The other side, lifting up through that middle and nice and long. We're thinking hips stacked, balanced on that uncomfortable bit at the top of the thigh, not rolled back onto the comfy cushions at the back. Lifting out through the waist. If we'd like to lift that arm up to the ceiling, we're going to relax the shoulder, lengthen through the shoulder blade. Here we go, lifting, just a few to get our balance and test. Don't forget to breathe, watch that we're not pressing into that underside of the body. And we're going with our pattern, lift and scissor, and scissor, and lift. And down. Good. Try to keep that eye gaze forwards. Try to keep long through the top of the body. pulled in through that abdominal. Watch those legs stay in line. Last one. Hold them up. Take a little bit of support if you need it. Flexing and opening. Pointing, close and flex. Second one. Third one. Squeeze the bottoms and in. Flex. Squeeze to rotate the thighs, not just the toes. We'll do one more for luck. Squeeze, press and lower. Ooh. Should be feeling a little bit of work there, hopefully. So we're going to lie on our tummies now and take some back extensions. Today, relaxed legs, so let those heels drop away. Arms, cactus shape a little bit above our shoulders for the elbows, palms down nice and wide. So, eye gazes to the floor. As we breathe in, we pull through the belly button into the chest and down. Lengthening out the top of the head, keeping the chin tucked in and the eye gaze down between your forearms. Trying not to squeeze the bottom too much. We've got our arms here today, so we can afford to just give a little bit of a press and come a bit higher if we like. Lengthening the spine. This is length and strength. Pulling those shoulder blades down towards the waist. Keeping the belly button pulled in. So next time we go, we're going to just lift one arm and twist as we lift. It's not going to be a big movement. And then the other side. Try to feel that the elbow is leading the way with the upper arm. It's not about the hand, it's about the elbow and the shoulder. You'll be better on one side than the other. Try to keep that eye gaze diagonally across the mat. Let's not break the neck by lifting the head. One more each side. And relax. We're just going to take a full lift up through the body to finish off. Lift as high as we can. I don't mind if you use your bottoms. I don't mind if you press into your arms a little bit. In fact, we're going to slide the arms forwards and then pull them back and just push a little bit more. Slide them forwards and pull and push. Feel into the back as those shoulder blades pull down. One more. Relax it and lengthen a bit and then pull it back. Feel that pull into the floor as if you're sliding your hands through the floor. And then relax. Oh, and up to all fours. So we're going to take our hands and our knees, nice square shape, lifting through the belly button, checking that our shoulders are relaxed and easy, opened wide, arms are braced, we're pressing into those hands. We're going to take a leg today, just the knee. So the knee is going to hover and down. We're checking that we're not shifting our hips too much. Keeping that belly button central over the centre of the mat. Checking that our chin is pulled in a little. We're not lifted through the head and we've not dropped that neck. The neck is a connection with the spine. So next time our knee is lifted, we're just going to float that knee out to the side. Try not to lift the hip. feeling it into the outside of those glutes. And then the other one. Press down. So we're squeezing into those glutes, pushing and squeezing. The leg, upper part of the leg goes directly to the side, not backwards at all. One more on each side. Feeling lovely and long, checking we're not tense. And next time we've got that leg out to the side, we're going to hold it there. If we want, we can either hold onto our shoulder or take an arm out. And we're just going to balance. If you want a challenge, lift that toe as well and bring it back down. We've got another leg to do, so leg out to the side. Good and stable, lots of weight on both hands. Then release a hand. Remember, you can touch the shoulder if you want. Watch you don't press backwards towards the back leg, and then lift the toe. Balancing and breathing. Pop the hand down, toe down, and release. And today's stretch, I'm going to turn to face so I've got width here. Still on all fours. We're going to take that first leg out to the side. Toes point forwards like the fingers. Heel is behind you, and we're just going to walk those hands forwards a little bit and stretch down into half a child's pose. Let those shoulders and bodies relax. Let that bottom sink backwards towards the heel and feel the stretch through the inside of the thigh. And just a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to gently bring ourselves out of that. Walk the hands back and swap those legs. The other leg out, remember, flat foot, toes pointing forwards. Walking those hands a little and pulling ourselves back. Stretching those fingertips away, opposite direction to the tailbone, relaxing that chest and head. Deep breath. Obviously you only go as far as you can go. And then gently bring ourselves out. Oh. So, this warm day, we're going to go straight back over onto our fronts and bringing our elbows underneath our shoulders. We're going to take a plank. Remember, this can be on our knees as long as we're not pushing those bottoms up and not dropping them down. We're in a long line from shoulder to knee or shoulder to heels. Just going to concentrate on breathing here. Pushing those heels away a little, keeping our weight forwards over our elbows. Easy, heads are lifted in line with the spine. Belly is pulled in, glutes are relaxed. If you want to, you can just shift over to one side, back to the center, shift the hips the other side. Couple of times. One more. Back to the center. And dropping the knees if they aren't already. Bring that back down. We're going to come back again onto our elbows. So making those shoulders work a little bit. Today it's knees together, shoulder above our elbow, lifted right up out of that waist. Imagine that somebody is pulling those ribs to the ceiling. We're not going to drop them down at all. An arc or a rainbow underneath us. Hips are going to be important and still because we're going to take some hip lifts and some clams today. So a little rested hand on your hip to check those hips aren't rocking backwards. So you've got lots of choices here. Hips come up and down. That might be your level. Or we bring them up and open the clam at the same time. And breathe in, lengthening out the top of the head, keeping those shoulders and those shoulder blades pull down the back. If you want to, instead of going all the way down, you can just do half down. We'll take 4 more. And we're going to hold the last one up there. So pressing those feet together, knees open, arm is going to go up if you can. We're going to reach the arm back, open those chests. Try not to push the ribs too much out, hang on to the belly, and then bring it back around. And we're going to stretch out, so we're going to come through to our all fours, tucking those toes, lifting our knees if we can, into bear or staying in all fours, and pressing into a down dog. So pushing that tailbone to the ceiling, dropping the chest through our arms. Doesn't matter so much about the legs. Feel that chest relax. And we're going to rock back down to that bear or to all fours and go back up again. Pushing through that chest as if the chest was trying to meet with the thighs. One more. Down and down dog. And then we're going to let those knees back to the floor gently. Bring them to the other side, and we're going to do our clams on the other side. So we've got forearm on the floor, shoulder above elbow, knees stacked, hips stacked, lifted out of that waistband, right up high, hip nice and still. So remember, we can just take the hip lift or we add the clam. Whichever we do, watch that the hip goes straight up and the clam doesn't tip the hip back. So squeeze into the glutes as you open, but don't push those hips too far forward. Lift through the waist. Good work. I think I'm finding these harder as we go along. Either that or I've been being lazy. So if you want, remember, we can add in just a dip and a lift and a dip. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And hold and reach. Open that chest, look to the ceiling. Push those feet together, lift those hips a little bit more. And bring it all back down. This time, instead of into bear, we're going to go into press up, and we're nearly finished. This is the last tough bit. So all fours, press up, into down dog, and back to press up. Pull through the middle, chest down, and back, relaxing those shoulders. Let's just do 2 more. Press, and down, strong arms. Last one. Back into that press up. Drop the knees if you haven't already, because remember, knees are always an option. And bring it back around. So we're just going to finish off with a little bit of ease and relaxing. Sitting on our tailbones, lifted nice and tall, easy feet, easy relax, arms out. We're just going to do a little rock today, and for once we can rock that hip off the floor. So just up into the ceiling with the arm, just letting it really breathe in, out as you go. If you've got lockdown hair like me, it'll be all over the place. And settle it back to the centre. Take a little breath forwards, relax the head, let everything stay easy. If you're not comfortable with those legs here, just let them stretch out. So we're going to do the same as we did in our back extension. We're going to lift that elbow and twist to one side and relax it back down. Breathing in, twisting and trying to feel as if the spine stays long and we twist around that axis of the spine and back. So this is not so much a rock as a twist. We've done with the rocking. One more each side. Elbow and elbow. Rolling up and easy. And wherever is comfortable for our legs, they can stretch out, they can stay bent, you can sit cross-legged. We're just going to take our arms into the front, not too high, shoulders open, sitting tall, thinking about that spine. Just visualize those curves of the spine in your mind's eye. And we're just reaching one fingertip forward, pulling that shoulder and back, reaching the shoulder forwards. We sometimes do this one lying down, reaching for the ceiling. Today we're doing it sitting up. So it's a little twist, a little stretch. One more each side. And we're going to take a big breath, breathing in. As we breathe out, we're going to pull those elbows down a little, lift the chest, and again. Breathing in and breathing out. So feeling those shoulder blades, those lats. Breathing in, breathing out. And one last one. Breath in and breath out. And we'll just let everything settle back into the centre. Stretch those legs out, give them a little ease. Give those shoulders an ease. And thank you very much. We've got there. I hope that was a nice one with a few changes in and not too repetitive and gives you a bit more choice. I'm thinking maybe about doing a bit of balance for the next one. A few of the standing balancing exercises on their own as a short one, but I'll see how we go in the next week or so. Can't wait to be back. Really hoping that we get back to classes before too long. It's tantalising with things opening, so keeping fingers crossed, and take care everybody. Bye.